Happy Wednesday!
Happy Wednesday.
How is it going? How are you doing?
Fantastic. Thank you so much for having me.
Yes, thank you for taking time to come on and, support the mindset movement and come on to share your story. And I'm so excited to have everyone meet our guest this week. So if you can introduce yourself, that would be great.
Thank you so much. Hi, my name is Tamieka Briscoe. I am a writer, director. I'm originally from Washington, D.C., but I now live in Los Angeles, where I am just exploring all the opportunities in this field that I've always dreamed of being part of.
I love that. I love that. And you have dreamed of like this, well, being out in LA for how long? Like how long has that dream been living for?
Oh, wow. Well, I dreamed of being a Hollywood writer since I was a 10-year-old girl.
Wow.
But life changed quite a bit from then. So as in my 30s, I'll say in 2014, I packed up my two children and whatever we could fit in two suitcases that flew free through Southwest, and we moved to LA to actually give it a shot. So here we are.
Oh, oh my gosh, that alone right there. That's inspiration. That takes a lot of strength to do that.
It does.
Girl. And how about now? So you do have something really exciting that you've accomplished.
I have. Thank you for that. During this quarantine period where the world literally, as we knew it, changed overnight, I took some time in the early days when it started getting really scary, and I took a 10-day break from news, no social media, certain foods like carbs. Just a 10-day fast I went on. But news was a big thing for me to cut out of, especially because I am a journalist by trade, and I have a master's degree in journalism. So to take a break from news was a big deal. So in that silence, I prayed and I just let it go. And then, much like anything, when you're watching something constantly, it looks really bad. So if this is the early days, so this was at the 1st of April, like around that week, the end of March going into early. This is when it got really scary. So if you're watching something every day and the numbers are growing, but they're still small, but the fatality just seems bad, and the projections of what's going to happen. So I needed to take a break, and I did. And during that silence, it was dropped in my spirit to do a quarantine series, but not just like a TikTok or like a quick skit,
Yeah.
but a real romantic comedy web series. And here we are. We are still in production of episode 6, so we have 5 episodes up already.
Awesome. And what's the name of it?
It's called QT, or the QT series.
Awesome. This is so great. And I will definitely, include all the information to follow and then locate where this web series is so that, you guys can press play, because you might just be the very first one to put out a quarantine content web series, like just think of all the movies and the shows that are going to form from this time period. So yeah. Major kudos to you for thinking of this.
Thank you so much.
It's awesome. It's so awesome. So let's go ahead and get right to your 2-word story. What is it?
Okay, I mulled over this because as a writer, 2 words, I commend you. Like, this is brilliant. And as a writer, sometimes you have preferences. Like, I'm an author, so that is my preference. I like writing books. So yeah. Tell me to write something because you just have more room in books for more words and more description. So to tell me 2 words was a lot. So I mulled over it, and again, it was dropped in my spirit. Something that was really I can identify with, because it was a real thing for me as I transitioned from everyone that I know and love in DC, the comfort and the familiarity of that upbringing of DC, to come 3,000 miles where there was no one. And keep in mind, I talked about the Southwest suitcases, and I talked about those things, but I did not talk about the fact that I didn't have a job lined up. the fact that I didn't have any of those things. So
Right.
one day, the cool thing about living in Washington, D.C. Is that there's a lot of hills. Like everywhere you go, there are hills. So one day, as it started getting close to the time for me to move to LA, I started getting very anxious.
Yeah.
Like full on, like I never even knew I had anxiety issues. That was that tested me and let me realize that, oh my gosh, this is a full on panic. Like I'm about to leave everything that I know and love and go where no one is that I know or love. So, but there's this gospel song that I always loved growing up in church. And it is directly pulled from a scripture, and it's called My Help. My Help. So that is something that gave me comfort. And even when I did my first vision board, I was living in LA by then, and I saw the words "My Help," so I cut that out, and that's like at the top of my vision board, because that gospel song, it is taken from a scripture, and it basically says, "I will lift up my eyes to the hills from which cometh my help. My help comes from the Lord." So that my help has been my 2-word story, because it was in that moment that I learned that, okay, I'm going to do this. This is something I always dreamed of. And I cannot think that God can only bless me and keep me if I'm in DC. Like, oh, I can do anything for you, but you have to be in DC.
Oh,
Like, I cannot put those limitations. My help is going to go with me to California. My help is going to always be there. So that has been such a peace. And obviously that's from the broad spiritual level, but even my help in terms of call my mama if I need help. Call my dad if there's an emergency. That's my help. Anything, any resources that my friends, my best, my help is always going to be with me, and it's not limited to where I'm from, where I live. So go be fearless, go for it, jump, because your help is going with you,
You have higher help. You have help right here. You have God, you have the angels, you have our people right on the ground here with us,
You have strangers that you meet. And it's almost like when you're a kid and your mom has to encourage you to go into the kindergarten class, it's going to be okay. You don't know, it's new and you haven't experienced it, but you make friends. Yes. It never dawned on me that, hold up, I'm going to meet people there.
I know you don't. The anxiety wants to override those realizations, It's so easy for our anxiety. And this is a big reason why the 2-word mantra comes into play, because when you're feeling that anxiety bubble up, what's my mantra? What's my 2-word story? It's help. What can I do right now what will battle the anxiety and tell it to shut down? My help, my help. So that could be going to church. That could be, like you said, calling your mom, my help could even be self-care in my mind. Like, because it's for you, right? It's for you. Like, I love this mantra. It's so unique, and you nailed it. Like, you're like, being a writer, I didn't know what 2 words. Like, this is really a powerful. The essence and the meaning under this mantra is huge.
Thank you.
And it's something that really, like, this is your life mantra. And you break down 2-word story. You can break it down real and like super intentional, where you have a life mantra, but then you also do a 2020 mantra, about just the year, and then even break it down further, a seasonal mantra, because your seasonal mantra, when a season ends, you're shedding old energy and you're stepping into new energy. And we're always shifting in what we're, but the beauty of my help is that it's going to serve you for the entire rest of your life. Whereas some mantras you might be able to shed a 2-word story, because you're like, I've gotten through what I got through when I had, you know what I'm saying? Like,
absolutely.
I love this mantra. Thank you
so much. I love that you have made this space, because I needed to be reminded of that. You know what I mean? Because it's not easy, and especially this mantra, like, it is one of those things that it's one of those things you can easily take for granted. Yeah. You know what I mean? Because
you forget
it's covered, or you just feel like you started getting to points in your life where you feel like you have it covered. Like, oh yeah, and then every now and then things like a global pandemic will take place. And it's like, oh, I can't fix this.
Yep.
And it's not within my power. So I have to go back to a place of trust that it's going to work out, my help.
Yeah.
And it just helps you. And I get it, especially the dream that I'm chasing.
Yeah.
It's not for the faint at heart.
Right. You
There's
need
so
to have
much
tough stuff.
protection. You need money. It's so much. You're gonna need something to hold on to. So
Yeah.
yeah. So I just want to
Absolutely.
encourage other people that you can do it because your help is going to provide for you.
Help.
So don't be afraid.
Yeah. This is
Start a
such a
business.
cool
Do
message.
whatever. Like it doesn't have to be a Hollywood writer, but whatever that is inside you that you need to give birth to, like you and I talked about,
Nope.
this is the time,
That's
especially what
fun.
are you doing? Most of you are quarantined. So whatever that is, write that book. The writer in me, I feel like everyone has a book in them. Write it, do it. Like whatever's holding you back, jump because
Yeah.
you have help.
Yeah. And you're so motivational. I feel like you need to be a motivational speaker on top of your author slash writer,
Thank you.
producer slash
Oh,
all the
thank
roles, mother, like it's major
you
inspiration.
too. You too. It was instant. Like you made my day. So got me fired up.
This is such a great, 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 amazing connection. And you guys, you have to, if don't hesitate to reach out. If you have questions
Please,
about
please.
how you start a book or questions on how do I access the web series, I want to see it, or how do I
Yes,
start one on my own, we're
yes,
together,
please.
the
Yes,
community, DM,
absolutely.
a message, and just
Please.
inquire. Asking opens up so much. It's my
Yes,
help. We're all here, right?
yes, I agree.
Helping each
Please.
other. Be kind. We're sending love to everybody. Thank you for recording today.
Of course.
Thank
Thank you
you. Thank
so
you.
much. I'm excited.
Oh, me too. Me too. And we're sending love to everybody. Bye, everybody.
Bye, everyone.